minutes on to the NATO summit in Brussels, followed by a major meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Morning, everyone.
The United States, I've said before, we're back. The U.S. is back.
Maybe the
with the US
picture quality might be a tad bit better, and also the sound might be a tad bit better. This is the first Facebook Live on a new phone. So,
visit the White House
yeah,
July 15th.
see how this goes.
It will be her last as she is not running for election. This is USA Radio News.
If cancel culture and censorship continue at their current pace, there will be nothing left of the truth. The Epoch Times was founded to keep truth alive. We ask the questions we think you'd ask. We check facts without regard to any political agenda. No one tells us what to cover or how to cover it. We have a special trial subscription offer right now. 1 month of the Epoch Times and total access to our amazing online content for just $1. You'll find it at trustednewspaper.com. 1 month, $1. Trustednewspaper.com.
At the American Veterinary Medical Association Annual Convention in Washington, D.C., I spoke with Dr. John Howe, AVMA President, about One Health.
One Health is really a collaboration between physicians and veterinarians or public health officials. For example, in Minnesota, our state public health veterinarian deals with zoonotic diseases, rabies, for example. Animals are sentinels for humans, and humans are sentinels for some infections in animals.
There's more valuable information at avma.org.
Over 100 employees of a Houston hospital have their COVID vaccine mandate tossed from court. USA Radio News' Dan Naraki.
A lawsuit from more than 100 employees of a Houston hospital over a mandate to get a COVID vaccination has been thrown out by a federal judge. Houston Methodist Hospital had given employees until June 7th to get vaccinated or face termination. The group sued the hospital, saying that the mandate violated federal law. Lawyers for the plaintiffs said they would appeal the ruling.
The East is cooling down for a bit, but the West is bracing for a heat wave. Here's Wendy King.
The National Weather Service has issued excessive heat watches and warnings for parts of central and southern California, southern Nevada, and western and southern Utah and Arizona. The alerts will last all week long. In Washington and Oregon, a slow-moving storm system will keep the coastal areas of the Northwest cool through the week. From the USA Radio News Pacific Northwest Bureau, I'm Wendy King.
You're listening to USA Radio News.
Look, bud, I take your money or your life. I'm thinking it over.
Right, Gildersleeve. You at the Bargain Hour with Connie McCarthy.
Now, if you to help me, I'll mow you down. 3 hours a day, 7 days a week, the greatest radio shows of all time. Classic radio theater. Available on many of these radio stations or available on demand anytime at any podcast app by searching USA Classic Radio Theater. USA Classic Radio Theater.
Today marks a somber anniversary in Orlando. USA's Mike Fortier has more.
On June 12, 2016, 49 people were killed in the deadliest terror attack on U.S. soil since 9/11. A gunman claiming allegiance to ISIS opened fire at a gay nightclub in Orlando called Pulse. Orlando Police Deputy Chief James Young, one of the first to respond that night.
I said it's the longest shift of my life, and when I say the longest shift of my life, I think that it hasn't ended to this day.
The shooting personal for Young as someone who visited the club while off-duty and had friends inside. He tells Orlando's News 6 he remembers being at the scene 15 hours before finally going home.
Looking at my uniform, I had blood on my pants and blood on my shoes.
Young said to speak at a ceremony marking the anniversary.
I think all of Orlando made a promise to the victims' families, the survivors and their friends and families that we would never forget. And this continues to show that we will never forget.
This week, the Senate voted to make the site of the nightclub a national memorial. From the USA Radio News Florida Bureau, I'm Mike Fortier.
The White House is restoring a grant to help train systems in California. USA Radio's Lance Fry reports.
The Biden administration late on Thursday restored a $929 million grant for California's high-speed rail that former President Trump revoked in 2019. The parties, which also include the California High-Speed Rail Authority and the U.S. Transportation Department, agreed to restore the grant within 3 days. From the West Coast USA Radio News Bureau, I'm Lance Pride.
For USA Radio News, I'm Wendy King.
We'll talk about that too. Maybe. I'm not sure how much you know about that, but
ownership or hometown talk radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
270. There we go. Alright, you're a red mic? Alright, well, your red mic as always, so. Good morning, Scott.
I mean, what's happening in Middleboro and surrounding towns? It's It's time for
Morning,
the
Scott.
Middleboro Weekend Review with your host, Joey Driscoll. Stay tuned for news, Middleboro news, here on AM 1530 WVBF. Hey, Joey, what's happening?
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Middleboro in Review. Today is June 13th, 2021. Good morning here in Taunton and also in Middleboro. It's very nice outside today. A little cold, but it will warm right up. We're going to have these cold, mornings, and it warms pretty much right up, right around the afternoon or so. So that's pretty much the weather for the next couple of weeks. I would think.
Calling it cold is the
Well,
right terminology. It's more refreshing.
Cool. Let's say cool.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Considering what we went through last week.
I meant like cold for
Perfect.
For
perfect.
the
It's perfect
for the
morning,
time of year. That's what I mean.
Morning weather. Perfect.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not cold.
57 currently, which is not bad. 56 for the low today.
Cold is.
So we're at the low,
cold
pretty
is
much.
February. We're in June.
I didn't mean cold like 20 degrees cold. I meant cold for where we are right now. That's what I meant.
Perfect. That's what perfect.
71 tomorrow
perfect.
for the high. 83 for the high today. 71 tomorrow. Rain in the forecast. Tuesday. 78 Wednesday. 75 some rain in the forecast for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in Taunton. In Middleboro, 60. 83 for the high. 55 for the low tonight. Or maybe we already hit the low this morning. I'm not sure. 60 tomorrow for the low. 71 for the high. And rain in the forecast the next 3 days. Driscoll, North Dakota, 60. So there we go. We got our Driscoll, North Dakota and Middleboro temperatures exactly the same.
We were talking about that, huh?
Yep, 60 degrees in Driscoll, North Dakota. Currently 82 for the high. So almost the same. Except Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, it will be sunny in Driscoll, North Dakota. In the mid-80s both days. And actually, they might see 90s. 94 currently over there. And when it comes to Wednesday in Driscoll, North Dakota. And in Driscoll, Texas, right now foggy. 74, 96 for the high, so we're into the mid-90s. The time of year where it gets into the mid-90s, it will get hotter over there. Right around that area is always really, really hot, 100 a lot of the days during the summer. So 96 today for the high in Driscoll, Texas. All right, so we have a lot to talk about today. Let's start off with a couple of reminders. First, the food pantry is offering a drive-through service for veterans. The Sacred Heart Food Pantry has cooperated with the Middleboro Veterans Services Department to furnish food boxes for local veterans. The Greater Boston Food Bank provides the meal boxes. The food pantry will be operating a drive-through distribution service once a month. It is held on the third Tuesday of the month. So this upcoming Tuesday is the third Tuesday, the 15th. This month, June 15th. Next month, it will be July the 20th. And that is from 11 a.m. to noon. It will continue until at least the fall. When we talked to Ray, he mentioned something about October, that it would probably go until October or so. All veterans and their families from Middleboro, Lakeville, Rochester, and Carver are eligible to use this service. Veterans do not need to be registered, just drive in and pick up a box. The Sacred Heart Food Pantry is located at 53 Oak Street in Middleboro. go into the municipal parking lot behind the food pantry from the Pearl Street entrance. The Halifax blood drives are continuing. The next one is Friday, August the 6th. Due to the need for blood donations and because the town's previous blood drives during the previous year, 2020, have gone so well, the town of Halifax is sponsoring additional Red Cross blood drives in the Great Hall of the Halifax Town Hall, and that is at 499 Plymouth Street in Halifax on the following dates. The next one is Friday, August 6th, and then October 15th and November 19th. And those are all on Fridays and from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Type in 02338 at the following website, www.redcrossblood.org, to find the blood drive. So those are some important things to remind everyone about. The food pantry is doing some great work helping out veterans in the community and in surrounding communities as well, Carver, Rochester, and other communities. And Halifax is doing their blood drives. So that is a very good thing to mention. Don, thoughts about that?
Like I said, you've been mentioning it for months and months now between the food pantry and now the blood drives. So it's good that you are mentioning it. And they are being successful, right? Everything's successful.
Yeah, they are. They're always successful, these blood drives.
Well, the whole idea of...
and the food pantry is successful as well.
Yeah,
so
there's constant media blitz about it. Helps because people hear it. No, maybe I'll go to the food pantry, or maybe I'll go give blood in Halifax or something like that. But it's good that you stay on top of it, and it's not hard to stay on top of it too.
No, of course, yeah, it's not hard at all. Another interesting thing coming up as well is a fundraiser, paint night, to benefit the Heart and Art. On June 17th, join Melissa Odie Morrison for an evening of painting under the stars. Located at the Elks Lodge, 24 High Street in Middleboro, Odie Morrison will be hosting a paint night fundraiser to help her business, the Heart and Art program, get up and running after the pandemic. The Heart and Art was created to provide arts programs for the entire community, and we specialize in programs for children and adults with disabilities. Due to the pandemic, we were closed and had to relocate, Melissa explains. So this is coming up again on the 17th as well. And is there a time and there is a date? The event will begin at 5 p.m. So this is June 17th, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Tickets can be purchased by Venmoing Melissa at Melissa Odie Morrison, or by contacting her on Facebook at The Heart and Art. All supplies will be provided, and anyone 12 and up is welcome. For more information, please visit theheartandart.org. So, there's a fundraiser paint night coming up this Thursday evening. So, anyone who is interested, any kids who are interested, go to this event. It's going to be a very fun event. Don, what are your thoughts? Have you ever been to a paint night? Or done these kind of events when you were younger?
No, Cub Scouts. That's about it. I remember being at Cub Scouts. No, I really don't remember, no. I mean, there's a lot more activities now for the kids than we had as far as stuff like that. I mean, you had your traditional Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, Little League games and whatnot, but there's always something going on for the kids. And now with the pandemic, almost behind us here, you gotta start seeing people really thinking outside the box as far as activities, because people have been chomping at the bit to get out and do their thing. So that's great. That's you said what, between 5 and 9?
Between 5 p.m. and 9.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
During the evening on the 17th.
17th is what? Friday, right?
No, Thursday.
Oh,
actually.
Thursday. Okay.
Yeah, Thursday.
But surprised it's not the 10 because it's kind of light out at 8:30 still.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe they can see some stars or something like that. But it's. The 17th could be like one of the longest days of the year. Think about it.
Yeah. 21st, I believe, is the first full day of summer. I know there's a half day in there somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
But 21st is like the first full day of summer.
These next 2 weeks, really enjoying it because
this is the peak.
Yeah, because you start noticing it at the end of July that it starts going the other way a little bit. You notice it in August.
Yes.
But you notice it a little bit at the end of July. But this is it. This is all your daylight. It's nice when it's like daylight out. I like when the sun wakes me up at 4:45 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Because 5 or 4:30, it's still kind of it's light. So there's a lot of daylight going on this time of the year, which I love because you have so little of it in December and January and February that it seems like you're making up for lost time. I think that's my thinking, I guess. But
all right.
I love seeing this. I love seeing it being daylight most of the time.
Yeah. Well, okay, 7:18. We're gonna take a commercial break. And you're listening to us on 1530 AM, 99.7 FM. Tune in, WVBF 1530. You'll find us there. The Audio Now number, 605-562-7958. The YouTube channel that we have, Middleboro in Review, all lowercase. You'll find us there. The Facebook page, Middleboro in Review, all lowercase. You'll find us there. You'll be able to listen to us live. The YouTube... I try to update that as much as I can. Sometimes I forget to, but I try to remember to do that as much as I possibly can. And also, we have an email if you want to send us any comments or questions. Middleboro in Review is the email, middleboroinreview@gmail.com. So we'll be right back here on Middleboro Review for the 13th of June. All right.
Williams Trading Post, serving the residents of Middleboro since 1949.
Follow the script, yeah.
Center and antique shop. They have everything you need for the spring months. They sell garden supplies, fruit trees, hanging baskets, and much more. They are open Monday to Wednesday, 10 to 5, Thursday through Sunday, 9 to 5. Visit them at 556 Wareham Street or call 508-947-1598.
Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association is an association of combat veterans from
When we get back, I am going to mention a couple of updates on the new bank building.
focus is to help veteran care facilities provide a warm meal, clothing,
The building's done.
and guidance, or simply to
Last time I went by there, the building was pretty much done. They were working on the parking lot now. So that's probably going to be open soon. I don't know when, but soon.
Still trying to figure out this new phone. I want to
You'll
shut
figure
it
it
off.
out.
Well, now I'm trying to shut it off with Siri's popping up.
No.
Just find a sweet spot where it shuts off.
Please visit cvma2-2.org.
Hi, this is Ray Brown, inviting you to tune in to Talkin' Birds.
Next week is Father's Day.
Burning and conservation, right here on
Yeah, I'm gonna call Lester, right?
Gonna call him Friday morning.
at 14
Yep, Friday morning.
I do some reading on that a little bit, Joe.
I'm gonna this week.
Good job.
This week.
Or maybe a little bit about his museum.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday mornings at 9.
Good idea to have, have some sort of clue.
Yeah, exactly.
Shoot him some questions.
Spark Street Auto Body, located at 48 Spark Street in Brockton, Massachusetts, offers the highest quality collision repair and complete auto service for your car. They are a direct
What's the
repair
last
shop
commercial,
with
Jim?
all major
Jim,
insurance companies.
and
You
then
can reach them at 508
there's 4 commercials
$14.95.
for the next.
They're open
How many is he at? 5?
Monday through
5 and 4?
then 8 to 4
Let's see here.
on Fridays.
6 and 4.
You will not be disappointed.
Wait, no.
508 583
Yeah, 6 and 4. It's a lot. This is a long commercial break. 6 and 4. Yeah. So maybe I mentioned to him to maybe move one of these ads to the second commercial break so we have 5 and 5. I don't know. That doesn't really matter to me either. Honestly.
I'm thinking he's thinking he's running out of time at the end of the show, so.
No, I don't.
Did you play a
What?
Nothing.
Nick Geronimo is next commercial break. Alright, let's go back to the show here. And we're back here on Middleboro in Review as I, wind that music down a little bit. There we go. Alright, so it is 7:23 a.m. currently. Today's the 13th of June. Tuesday is, I believe, officially the halfway point of 2021. Wow. Okay, so we are going to move on to talking a little bit about rail. So there is this article that popped up for me this week that I read a little bit of during the week. A potential Cape Cod commuter rail study on track. The Cape Cod Rail Study Advisory Group met for its second meeting Wednesday to discuss the future of rail service on Cape Cod. During the meeting, the Cape Cod Commission, the Cape Rail Advisory Group, and officials from the Massachusetts Department of Transportation outlined the 2 proposed plans for a potential commuter rail connection. Mass DOT Regional Planning Coordinator and Study Manager Benjamin Muller said that a number of studies have looked into this subject over the past decade. But with Mass DOT on board in earnest and neighboring states such as Maine also investigating possibilities, there has been more interest in rail options recently. This study, with its backing from Mass DOT, is an opportunity to align the energy and enthusiasm behind passenger rail on this corridor towards the Cape, with operating plans and orders of magnitude, cost estimates, and service alternatives that Mass DOT believes are reasonable, and that we can stand behind, said Muller. He said that the study is only meant to propose possible plans that can be whittled down to something more concrete. He also said that the study is not meant to identify a preferred plan, serve as an environmental impact report, or meant to alter South Coast Rail upgrade operations. There's goes on a little bit more. Alternative 1. It talks about the alternatives here and all the other options. There's a lot of options. They just talk about certain things that they are looking to do. But there is a study that they're going to be doing. It looks like pretty soon, and that is pretty exciting news there in Cape Cod. Don, thoughts? on this?
They got the Cape Cod train going down there now, the Cape Flyer, during the summer months, and they stopped in Middleboro and down in Wareham Village, which the station's pretty much built. They got plenty of parking down there. Buzzards Bay, over where the rail bridge is. And then on the other side, they got Barnstable and Hyannis. But as far as clearing out big swaths of land on the Cape itself, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be problematic because it's so, I don't know, it's just, unless you put tiny railroad stations in, pretty much, and just pretty much use the footprint at the stations. I think Sandwich might have like an area too, like an old station or something like that. But you just can't go in and bulldoze.
Yeah.
Big, huge parking lots for commuters. It's just not going to work.
I think
it's just not going to, because it's so delicate. It's fragile. The environment is fragile in the Cape. You just can't go and do that because there's estuaries everywhere. There's rivers. You just can't go and do that.
I think if they could figure out a safe way to do it,
there's no way of doing it, in my opinion. First of all, when they built the trains years ago, you have the footprint already. Okay, the infrastructure's built. Okay, you have to stick with that. They might be able to get a little bit more parking, but as far as like your big parking lots, you see, like you never be able to fit something like a Middleboro parking lot.
Yeah, not down there.
That's huge. That's acreage. I don't know how many acres it is, but people aren't going to go for it. Environmentalists aren't going to go for it. Most people aren't going to go for that. But if they can get send a couple trains down there, people get dropped off, or they can, Uber or run their bike or get dropped off, that might work. You need to keep the same footprint, infrastructural-wise. Then you got the bridge. This bridge is like, I don't know, pretty old. It's like almost 100 years old. I think it was built like in the 30s. Whatever. So I mean, you're talking almost 90 years old. Not 90, but in the 80s or whatever. I'm not sure when that bridge was built. I know the Sagamore and Bourne bridges were built in between 33 and 35, 1933 and 35. So I think that was built either before or after. I'm not 100% sure. But they got to lower that how many times? Maybe it's in good working order. But that could mess up shipping too. I propose just run it as far as Buzzards Bay, and it looks like there's room across the canal. They build a parking lot over there, and make a ferry to cross.
Yeah.
Have a ferry cross. Maybe have something like that. I'm not sure if they would want to do that, but you don't have to deal with the bridge. People can go to that point and cross over and get on the train. I don't know, like how New York does it sometimes, but maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree, but they're not going to be able to put the big parking lots and they can't put the stations in like around the suburbs.
Yeah.
The big stations and the big parking lots and the approaches. They just won't work on the Cape, in my opinion. It's too delicate.
Mm-hmm.
And the people living on the Cape, they're not going to want it.
Mm-hmm.
I can guarantee that. I think a lot of people would like to blow the bridges up and get the ferries back. I mean,
all right, well,
crazy. But hey, you asked me. Right?
If there's any more information about this in the coming weeks, we'll talk about it. They're like I said, they're planning some studies, potential studies on this Cape Cod Rail, and we'll see where it goes. There's an article. This article that I read from a little bit. It's on CapeCod.com. If you want to read the entire article, it goes into what goes into extreme detail. It's a long article. I'll do some more research on this and maybe get into what they are, what the alternatives are, and options and everything else. Maybe I'll talk about them on a future show.
I think 2 or 3 trains a day might work. But when you get over, like I said, you have to use the existing infrastructure. You have to stick with the original footprint of the original railroad. You can't expand. Yeah. There's no room.
Yeah.
There's no room. I think if they did that and they left it and it was, and they ran a few trains, and it worked, and people rode the trains or whatnot, fine. But you start bulldozing parking lots and ripping trees down and filling in, it's not going to fly.
Yeah, no,
It's
that's
not
something
gonna fly.
that's not going to fly.
That's what I'm
of
saying. So they
course.
have to think, if they turn around and they're spending all this money on a study, someone's getting paid, right, to do the study.
Yeah.
Somebody's cashing a check to do this study.
On this potential study, yes.
Well, they're not doing it for free.
Yeah.
Right?
No, they're not going to be doing it for free. Yeah.
I'm not who's paying them. We don't even know who's paying. But okay, they got a study. Let's hope the study is a smart study.
We have a phone call.
Yeah,
Let's take this phone call here. All right. WVBF.
Yeah.
Here's the interesting point, and I agree with you. Why, mess up what's there? Cape Cod is one of those fragile ecosystems, and if you ruin it, you ruin the whole point of going there in the first place. So, you can't take paradise and turn it into a parking lot, literally. But it's interesting. I've always heard that, like for example, that the Route 24. You'll never be able to make it any bigger. You'll never be able to widen. I've heard this for years since I moved here in 2009. And guess what? There's a big project underway to add lanes to it. Now, I don't know how they managed to do it, but they're doing it.
It's just the infrastructure was built back when it was built, and like I said, the people who live in there are not going to go for it. You look at Middleboro's train station in that parking lot. It's huge. They're not gonna. You can't fit a parking lot that even anywhere in the Cape down there. It's just too much. I mean, we got to put it.
And there are questions, of course, about will that many people be parking there?
Right. I mean, look at the Greenbush line. When they built that in 2007, when they opened it in 2007, no one uses it. I deliver oil in that area. I know. I'm by those stations every day. Nobody uses those stations. Nobody. I mean, they're not filled to capacity. I've never seen them full of capacity. I never seen one on the trains. So it's just the people don't take the trains in that area.
Yeah. See, I have never ridden the T myself, and I've been here for 11 years. Maybe I'm an exception to the rule, but I just never have had the occasion. When I did have to go into Boston, a couple of times I've taken the bus because it was easy to do. No parking, right? You don't have to park.
Right.
And the guy pretty much dropped me off where I needed to go to Tufts Medical Center. And by the way, this particular trip, one of them, it was the driver, me, and these two other guys. And the driver literally said, "Hey, I can drop you off on the way to South Station. Where do you want to go?"
That's
like Tufts Medical Center. I'll drop you off here.
That's great. I mean, you don't get that. You don't get that on
Well,
the
it was
TV.
great, but I'm saying there were four of us, including the driver, on the bus.
Right. It's just too bad because I believe public transportation is a good option to have. It really is. Now that I'm noticing the economy's opening up, traffic is terrible. I mean, last 2 weeks it's horrible, and not many people are going to be returning to the T. They're not going to be standing in rush hour traffic, bumper to bumper, next to each other like cattle. It's not going to happen. So the traffic's only going to get worse, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it seems to be worse than it was before.
And a lot of people forgot how to drive because a lot of these people stayed home and they just went, where they had to go. But now everyone's out and everyone's on vacation mode now because everyone's just dying to get out. So, I mean, it's really tough driving a commercial vehicle these days.
It is. I want to do a quick preview of my morning show tomorrow. I'm going to have all kinds of morning news. One of the things that's interesting is there's a story out of Rhode Island. The Governor Dan McKee last Thursday voted to extend that state's state of emergency until July 9th. Of course, Massachusetts is ending on the 15th, on Tuesday.
Wow.
So he's actually extending Rhode Island's state of emergency. So I have information on that. And people can call in afterwards when Jim DuPont is on the air from 9 to 11 and comment on that.
Yeah,
So are we getting out of our state of emergency too quickly? As far as, because what that does is it allows, for example, in Rhode Island, they've actually got retirees from some departments, like the Department of Health and whatnot, that are there helping people to process claims and everything else that are still coming in, or the unemployment claims that are still unprocessed. They're actually bringing retirees back in to work in Rhode Island to do that. So
that's very interesting.
This will be one of the things that we'll talk about. Anyway, enjoying your show, guys. Have a great Sunday.
Thank you, Chris.
You too. Have a great Sunday. All right.
It's always great when he calls in.
Yeah, that was Chris Keach. A lot of great topics will be talked about tomorrow, so be sure to tune in.
Yeah, that'll be interesting about how every state is. We're lifting our state of emergency on Tuesday, but they said that. But I mean, I guess every corner is different. I guess as far as what the needs are for the people.
And a quick little program preview for the Sunday here. After us, we have Bread of Life. Today's program is When You Lost Your Cutting Edge. That will be played today. 8:30 will be the Rosary. At 9 o'clock, it will be Talking Birds. Talking Birds, great program. Lots of interesting information and guests who talk about birds and bird topics as well. There's a lot of great information that gets talked about. 9:30, Keys of the Kingdom. 10 o'clock, All on God with Edna Isaac. 11 o'clock, Musical Odyssey with Ed Sutka. At noon, Sounds of the Emerald Isle with Jim Larkin. And at 2 o'clock, finishes off the day, Stand Up Strong with Tony Branch and Ed Miller.
I guess Tony returned to the studio last week, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he returned to the studio, so
that's good. Those guys,
they are back.
Those guys are a real good team. But just one quick thing before we change gears here, before Chris called. The study is going to cost money. They're not doing it for free, right? On the Cape Cod.
I would believe it wouldn't be free.
I just hope they just do a good job where they make sense of it all, meaning they weigh everything through, because you just hate for them to do a study that's like haphazard, get paid all that money to do the study, and then they just throw it in the trash. It just seems like a waste of money. So I hope they're smart about the study. Don't disturb the footprint it was already built. Figure other options, maybe a ferry, maybe not, I don't know. And streamline shuttle buses. Shuttle buses, I think, works good too, in my opinion. Just have these little links for the station. As long as the links are on time and they're clean and they're dependable, people will take the links to the station, and then they'll take the train in Boston or points north. But I think if they got to do a study, and they spend all that money to do a study, probably be taxpayer money, most likely, right? We want our money's worth. We want it done right, because if they decide they want to go ahead and do it, they have a nice plan. Because if they rock the boat a little bit, especially with the Cape and people who live in the Cape, they're not going to want to see the footprint disturbed. The footprint's the footprint.
Yeah. So the article, like I said, it talks about options and alternatives. I'm gonna do some research in the coming couple of days, and I don't know about next week, because I believe we have a guest next week.
Yeah, we do. I think
we have a guest next week. So maybe the week after, we'll revisit this again, and we'll talk about the options and the alternatives in full, and talk about that. And if anyone wants to call in about that, that would be interesting segment to do for the coming couple of weeks. All right, it's 7:41 a.m., so we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back here on Middleboro Review. Today is June 13th, 2021. All right.
I thought I heard some feedback when I took my.
Yeah, you might have for like a split second.
The radio heard that, yeah.
No, you might. I don't know if it went over the radio, but you might have heard it for a split second. I was trying to adjust audio levels.
Yeah.
All right. 150.
I don't like the headphones because it makes me sound like I'm talking too loud.
Yeah, I don't like the headphones.
I guess that's your.
I don't either. I use them sparingly. I use them, check to see.
I'm not sure
if I'm on the air.
I don't sound too loud
Sometimes
on the radio, do I?
No.
No, but
I don't believe you do.
What? Because I'm not on top of it.
They also have certified playground wood chips. Call 508-947-5360.
That was a good article. That was a good discussion.
Yeah, and we didn't even scratch the surface. I just talked about there was going to be a study. I didn't talk about, they went into alternatives and they went into options, and we would have been here all day. So we're going to revisit that, and we're going to talk about that shortly in the next couple of weeks. Not next week, because we do have a guest, and a very interesting guest for next week. We're going to talk a lot about history. So, a lot of history, local history. Well, not so much local history. Massachusetts, Connecticut area history next week, and should be an interesting show.
I want to mention something about the middleboro law a little bit. So give me a couple minutes, all right?
Yeah. Three. All right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rifle off sports.
Yeah, but I definitely
real
don't
fast.
Forget about I wanted something.
Yeah. I got you.
Give me 2 minutes.
We're gonna do that. But I'm gonna rifle off sports first, and then I'm gonna put it over to you. And then whatever time we have left, I want to talk about the Charlie Brown special that they're gonna have on Apple TV.
Really?
Yeah, they're gonna have a Charlie Brown documentary.
Wow, I'm surprised they didn't cancel the Charlie Brown.
And then, yeah, that'll be the show. And then I'll do Today in History. Today in History is... It's a couple Today in Histories. Be some interesting ones.
St. Vincent de Paul of Sacred Heart Church in Middleboro serves the residents of the towns of Middleboro, Lakeville, Carver, and Rochester. Our base of operations is in the lower level of the parish hall on Oak Street.
Good morning, everyone who's listening. Good morning, Scott, again. Good morning, everyone else who tuned in and listened to today's program. Like I mentioned a couple times, next week we're going to have a guest on. And we're going to talk about Connecticut, Massachusetts history. One thing in particular, and I'm not going to quite spoil it. Well, wait till next week to talk about it, but it's an interesting little topic that we're going to talk about. We're going to mention. I don't know if it's going to be the bulk of our conversation, but it will be a little bit of our conversation for next week's program. All right. That goes back up. And we're back here on Middleboro in Review. It is 7:46. I am going to do sports real quick, and then we'll go over to Dawn real quick afterwards. It's got a few little things to talk about.
A rant.
Well, yeah, a rant. So let's do sports really quick. The Final Four teams in hockey. The hockey playoffs, the NHL playoffs. Canadians and Golden Knights on one side. Star Series. Tomorrow night. Canadians, if they win, it'll be the first chance. I think, well, not the first chance, but a very good one of the first very good chances that a Canadian team could win a Stanley Cup this year, and the Canadians could do it. Obviously, Canadian teams have been in Stanley Cup since '93, when the last time they won it. When a Canadian team won it, I believe that was '93, and since then, a couple of Canadian teams have been in it, but have not won it. The Canadians, I think if they make the Stanley Cup, they could win it. But I'm not going to get ahead of myself because they are facing the Golden Knights, which are a very good team. And on the other side, you have the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are looking to repeat. They have to get through the Islanders. And this was the same thing that they had to do last year. They had to get through the Islanders.
Islanders were tough.
Yes, and they did get through the Islanders. Will it happen again? Will they get through the Islanders again? Or will the Islanders upset the Tampa Bay Lightning? We'll have to see.
I kind of want to see the Islanders do it.
I do. I want to see the Islanders. Probably the Vegas Golden Knights probably the most win the Stanley Cup, and then the Islanders, and then the Canadians, and then it's the Lightning on the bottom. I wouldn't mind seeing Lightning win again, because I do like the Lightning.
Is this the first year for the Vegas team?
No, this I believe is the 4th year.
Oh, wow.
And they've been a very good team since they have came into the league. Wow. They've been in the playoffs every single year. And this will be their second, if they make it, if they beat the Canadians, it will be their second Stanley Cup playoff series. And I think they have a better chance of winning. I think they're a very good team, and I think they could win it. So we'll have to see. The NBA playoffs continue. Some interesting games coming up. Tonight could be the end of a series. The Phoenix Suns take on the Denver Nuggets. Phoenix looks to sweep Denver tonight, and I believe they'll probably do it. Denver has not shown anything against the Suns, and I'm not sure why. Denver has been pretty good up to this point, but the Suns, I think, are just a better team. The Nets and Milwaukee will be this afternoon, and that is probably going to be a very good game. I think that would be a 7-game series, honestly. NASCAR continues. The Truck Series was yesterday. They had a Truck Series at Texas Motor Speedway. John Hunter Nemechek won that one. John Hunter Nemechek, I believe, has the point lead currently. Yes, he does. 445 points against Ben Rhodes' 401 in second place. The Cup Series currently tonight at Texas Motor Speedway. So they are in Texas this weekend. The All-Star Open, which is the race before the All-Star race, which is next week. And that... Oh, no, that's not next week. Wait a minute. No, that's today. Actually, I think there'll be 2 races today. Oh. Interesting. I thought it would be next week. Oh, well. So there will be 2 races, which is interesting. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. And the standings there is Danny Hamilton, is that Denny Hamilton? Yeah, Denny Hamilton. I think I said that correctly. Yep, Danny Hamilton. Or no, I didn't say that correctly. It's Denny Hamilton.
Denny.
Yeah, Denny. Like Denny's.
Okay.
Not Danny Hamilton, sorry.
Okay.
For, twice.
3 times.
Quite a few times, yes. Hard name to remember, but I haven't watched NASCAR in a few weeks, so yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You listen to NASCAR, the announcers are saying it over and over. They're repeating the names, repeating Danny.
They're repeating the names, and then sometimes they mess up the names, and then they have to.
And then you come on the radio and suddenly you mess his name up.
Well, I mean, sometimes they mess up the names. You know, they say it about 7 million times during the race.
I digress.
So yes, Hamilton is in the lead, 664 points, with Kyle Larson is 617 points currently. So yeah, all-star. So that means we're in the halfway mark of NASCAR season. All right, so we are going to switch it over to Don real quick. Don.
Yes, we'll talk about the move over law that probably all 50 states probably have it right now. We all know what the move over law is. If you're driving down the highway, you see an emergency vehicle like a state trooper, police car, municipal police car, fire truck, any kind of service vehicle, tow truck, even a mass DOT, you're supposed to move over. Okay, I understand that. And most people are doing it, but there's a lot of people who are not doing it. Okay, please, if you don't do that, first of all, you get a big ticket. But if you ever like slammed into a state trooper or anybody and you did some harm or hurt someone or killed somebody, you're not going to be able to live with yourself because you weren't paying attention. And number two, when you do see it, okay, and I'm in the right lane sometimes, and the people in the left lane need to help the people in the right lane move over. Meaning, if you're in the left lane and you see the emergency lights, back up a little. Let the people in the right lane get in. Because a lot of times I'm in the right lane and I'm like, he ain't letting me in. I put my directional on. We see the lights up on the right. He's not still ain't gonna let me in. So what I do is I put my flashes off, and by law, you're supposed to go slow if you cannot move over. Because you don't want to cause an accident, try to move over too fast, because then you just got to cause an accident, and that's not good either. But people don't let you in either. All right? They just don't let you in. They see you're trying to get in. They see that your left direction's on trying to get into the left lane. If it's a 3-lane situation, maybe go to the left lane and open the middle lane for the people who need to pull into the middle lane from the right lane. Get away from the emergency light, get away from whatever. Even you see someone with a flat tire or on the side of the road or a truck, I try to get in the middle lane. I try to get away from whoever's parked on the shoulder. All right? I drive a lot, and I've noticed a lot of people do not move over. Okay? Let the stadies, let the firefighters, let the tow truck people, let the service people, let all the people who work on the highway go home and see their families. Okay? Don't be selfish. All right? Pull over, please. I've seen so much. I drive down Route 3 every day from Middleboro to Quincy, and it's horrendous what I see. It makes me sick sometimes. People need to move over. It's very important. And I hope the stadies start giving people tickets for that, because there's no need for it. These guys are trying to do what they got to do on the side of the road. It's dangerous on the side of the road. I think anybody who's broken down the side of the road, you don't like it. You want to get off the side of the road. It's pretty scary. It's scary. And then when you got a vehicle come so close to you, if you can move over safely, move over. That's the law. If you can let somebody move over who's in the right lane, maybe let them in. Help clear the lane. Okay? Because a lot of times I'm trying to get in the left-hand lane and I can't because someone's not letting me in. They're not backing up. They're not slowing down. They just did this they're right on my 6, right on the left there. So I put my flashes on and I go slow past. And that's what I think people should do. But the whole exercise is to get everyone to the left lane. So people need to be cooperative, letting other people in front of them so they can clear the lane. What are your thoughts, Joe?
We're on the topic of safety. I just want to mention bikes. Bikes and motorcycles. Very important to share the road with them. Of course, they're not going to be on a highway. Motorcycles will be. Bikes won't. But, on other streets, bikes may be on the road, and you want to be careful. for sure. Motorcycles as well. You want to be careful of those as well on the highway, anywhere. So just be mindful of bikes and also motorcycles as well.
As far as bicycles too, like I said, be aware of them. But there's some people on bikes who are not aware of traffic. They're in the middle of traffic. They're arrogantly in the middle of traffic. I'm a bike. You gotta, and that. Okay, I understand, but it's only gonna aggravate people. All right, great. You have a right to be here, but not in the middle lane doing 10 miles an hour on 44 or in 106 or 18. Okay, you get to the right, that's where you belong. Okay, but there's some people on bicycles out there think they own the road. That you should wait for me. Okay, great. Maybe, but let it the law. Maybe they're right. But you're talking about the 50 people behind you who are aggravated. They're not going to wait, and they're going to be crossing lanes, and they're going to be doing unsafe stuff to get by you. So, there's a responsibility as a bicyclist to, go with the flow too. Don't create a problem because you can. Just try. Everyone needs to be safe. People get aggravated fast.
All right, today in history. 1774, Rhode Island becomes the first of Britain's North American colonies to ban the importation of slaves. 1966, the United States Supreme Court rules in Miranda v. Arizona that the police must inform suspects of their rights before questioning them. The Miranda rights.
You have a right to remain silent, everyone who heard that.
Yes. 2000, President Kim Dae-jung of South Korea meets Kim Jong-il, leader of North Korea, for the beginning of the first ever Inter-Korea Summit in the northern capital of Pyongyang. Birthdays on this day. Ben Johnson, born on this day in 1918, American actor and stuntman. Very important figure in a lot of Western films back in the 50s. So he, back in the 50s, 60s, right around that era, he was in a lot of the Western films as a stuntman. So that's pretty cool. I've never heard of Ben Johnson before, but did a lot of research on him. And again, he was in a lot of Westerns during the 50s, 60s, right around there. And deaths on this day, 11 years ago today, 2010, June 13th, Jimmy Dean passed away, American singer and businessman. He founded Jimmy Dean Foods, which is known for its breakfast foods. I'm sure they have other foods as well, but they are known for their breakfast foods as well. I didn't really know he was a singer too much. I obviously knew of Jimmy Dean Foods. All right, it is 8 o'clock, and that will end today's program. Hope everyone enjoyed. Next week will be the 20th of June edition of Middleboro Review. We will have
Father's Day.
Yes, and it's Father's Day, yes. And we will have a guest on as well for the first half of the program. So hope everyone tunes in for next week's program. Bye-bye, everybody.
Week. Have a great week, everybody.
There we go. Awesome. Awesome. And awesome. Bye, everybody.